Today we're checking out the amazing new upgraded skate park in Prahran. This place opened back in June 2024. It was designed and built by Convic Skateparks, and according to the Stonnington Council media release, they had a budget of $3.7 million for the new skate park here and the basketball courts on the side. This place actually looks so sick and I can't wait to skate it, so let's get into the skate park tour. So the main feature of the park is this center zone, which has all these ledges, hips, the big section with the hubba and the rails, and everything's kind of built in this triangle kind of feature around the center zone. So I'm going to start at the top where you get the run up for the big section, work my way around, and then I'll show you guys the big section at the end. So at the top there's an open-ended bowl corner here, which like I said will give you all of your speed for the big section, but there's a cool little bank here and there's these like wally ride-on things on the side, so it's cool that they didn't just leave it empty. They put little features on the sides like this. Leading from that section over to here, this long round rail looks really fun. Long out ledge, you can hit the stage I guess and then into the bank. There's a ride-on the side too, but this is like a 3-stair Euro gap kind of feature too, which is pretty sick. Down from that is the big hip of the skate park with a ledge on top, and that leads into your bottom section, which is kind of like your street run, your typical street run here. So you've got a nice manual pad granite ledge, which also has a curved ledge on one side, another big quarter pipe feature to continue the flow going here. Leading over here, there's another amazing flat bar that's round with a nice little flat gap here. On the side of this middle feature here, they've got like a granite slappy curb type of thing. That looks cool, looks like it's going to be fun to grind. Big quarter pipe extension in the center here, and then a nice flat ledge on the other side of the flat bar there too. So this section's like really sick and going to be real fun. Continuing down, you have this nice long open-ended quarter pipe section here, which will continue the flow around the park, or you can just skate this as itself. And then we come over to the other section of the park. So there's so much good stuff here. This hip here looks fun, but I've been looking forward to skating that long flat bar across the banks this whole entire time since I knew this park existed. There's like an A-frame bank-to-bank kicker gap, which is sick because you can skate the gap, or you've got this big ball here that you can skate over as well. So a few different options here. Leading back to the other side of the top of the run-up, you have another Euro gap. So the bank to the top, there's some banks to out ledge, little down hubbers, and then a little square out and down rail. So it is a thin square, which is kind of weird, but everything else here, all the other rails are perfectly rounded. So it's all right that we have one square rail here. Now the big section is an 8-stair, 10 rails down either side, and then the hubba down the center, but you can also hit all these different ledges and banks and Euro gaps as well, all along the side of the main stage section. The basketball court is at the back of the run-up section, which is also included in the price of this whole entire upgrade. The vert ramp has been moved off to this side. I think it was more on the side of the road there, I'm not quite sure, but vert ramp's over there, and then the mini ramp is next to it as well on the side of the skate park. So the park is nice and open. It looks like everything flows really well and is spread apart really nicely. I'm going to try and get a trick on everything here so you can see exactly how it flows and the scale of everything, and then I'll go over the design process of this park and all of the obstacles here that were inspired by the old version of the skate park. Oh my god, that's deadly. Stinking, but I'll take it. There's a lot of different ways you can skate the ledges around the outside of the main stage section, which I'm not going to do. I've skated enough ledges today. And also I do not feel like jumping this morning, so I'm not going to hit the big section right now. I will be hitting this park again before I fly home to Sydney, so I'll definitely get some sort of tricks down the big section here on another day. So Convic held a lot of community consultations and went back and forth with the locals here throughout the design process phase, so they could fine tune the designs and make a skate park that the locals were really happy about and really proud of having as their local park. There was a big push to keep the vert ramp and the mini ramp here, so they reconstructed the steel vert ramp, they moved it off to the side to create more space for the skate park, and they built a concrete mini ramp with similar dimensions to the original that was here. There are a few obstacles integrated into this new version that were inspired by the old park too, like this open-ended bowl corner here, the hip with a ledge on top, the out ledge here, and I'm pretty sure this square out and down rail is the exact same rail from the original park. I could be wrong, but it looks identical. So it's great that Convic listened to the community and tried to give the locals exactly what they wanted, and this skate park really did turn out so good. Out of all of the obstacles here though, my favorite thing here is the long flat bar across the top of the banks. As soon as I saw the photos of this place when it opened, that's the first thing I spotted, and I couldn't wait to skate it this whole time. So while I'm here, I'm going to try and get a few more tricks on it, since I have been looking forward to skating this for so long. I do have a few tricks in mind that I've been thinking about. Hopefully I can get them done, but they are a little harder. But I'm going to get back into the session, skate that long flat bar, and then I'll go over the positives and negatives of this park. That's so fun. Whoa, that was wild. Oh, that was so weird. Oh my God. I'm so taking that even though it was sloppy. So positives are this park is really open and flows really well, and there's a lot of different lines you can hit all through the skate park. And the tiled ground sounds and feels so good to skate across. I like how they've made the actual skate park itself, and then they've put the mini ramp to the side and then the vert ramp to the side as well. So depending what you feel like skating, you can go to whatever zone of the skate park that accommodates for that. So this park is super fun, it's all laid out really well, and it accommodates to different types of skaters and different levels of skaters too. There's water bubblers, bins, and lots of shade around the skate park. The basketball court is actually separated from the skate park too, so there's no risk of the ball flying over and hitting you while you're trying to skate. So I like that they've made that separate. So the way they've integrated everything into this area and kept things separate but also nice and flowy is done really well. There aren't that many negatives at all to this park. If I'm being super picky, I would say that the long round rail that goes down the side of the Euro gap, that was freaking me out a little bit, just the way that the rail's built on top of the curb. I kind of felt like I was going to hit the curb before I popped properly to get on the rail. Just the look of that wigged me out a little bit, but once I tried to actually hit the rail, it didn't affect it at all. So I think that is just purely in my own head. The whole time I was there, the vert ramp didn't dry from the rain the previous night, so I don't think the drainage for the vert ramp is done properly because those puddles just sat there the whole day. Even though the sun came out, it didn't really dry them up at all. The only other thing I'd say is it felt like the metal coping on the ledges was really sharp and kind of needs to be worn in a little bit more. The park's been open for about 6 months now, but I was still finding that sometimes if I didn't lean right, the coping would just grab my trucks, so I'd have to wax it a little bit more. Not a major issue, I didn't get stuck on any of them, but I just felt a little bit more resistance than normal. But overall, this skate park is so sick. There's something here for everyone, it looks really good, it sounds good to skate, it's so fun hitting everything that's there, and I think Convic really killed it on the design of this park. While I was in Melbourne, I did skate another skate park that had nice tiled ground, and it had some brick banks as well that felt really nice to skate and roll over. That park was in Errington, and you can check out the session I had there in this video right here.